where's that space now?
That's right. We live. You're now tuned in to Blast Global Barber Shop. I am King Darius. I'm gonna show y'all another cut. This is how I do it. Let y'all know I can cut straight hair too. What's your name, brother?
Noah.
Noah?
Yeah.
Right here, this is Noah. What can I do for you today, Noah?
Let me get a picture and trim the top down.
Okay, trim the top down a little bit. Okay. How much you want to trim off the top?
Not too much.
Not too much, just a little bit, just want to kind of make it easy and stuff like that.
Yeah. Hard to find a barber down there.
Right, I got you. You ain't gonna have to look no more, bro.
Swiping your leg right there.
It's all out here. You can't really find one with like
cursive.
Yeah, we can cut straight here.
Somebody
But you feel like a Mexican town here in the front
Yeah,
door.
that's why it's here.
And so he said, well, maybe they'll be an app that'll help them, but maybe they won't. What is it? And so
I said, there's here, I go along with that other stuff. I have a lot of them coming over here to get their hair cut from. There's a maid for coming out of because they're here.
They said that IQ could be off the charts with their EQ.
All right, about to taper the sides and the back. On Noah right here, y'all. Trim a little bit off the top.
Kanye West, Cornell West, and the young were like Cornell West. You know, these are the college. You know, Cornell West, but now like they even where artists are not, you know, ancient race. So much to do with I don't know around it, but I know around it, and they appreciate their art and their art. So I'm like, I think something very dark that a lot, right? But one of the things that gave us example is that it allowed people, a particular generation to study the previous generation, right? And so I would wager to you that my son knows my music and my father's music. Okay. And I think because he's studied, that type of thing. Right. But even with a lot of individuals I've talked to, I'm amazed they know some things. So and so use that in their song or record. But that's that like it's record. Yeah. Just like we're not good. Those samples are articles. And I feel like you find that in kids. Yeah. I feel on my own thing. I feel like myself, but I feel like they're, you know,
Say, get in there, get in there. I got you, Noah. You ain't got to worry about going to no other barber no more. So you still in school, man?
I just graduated last year.
From high school?
Yeah.
What high school you graduated from?
I went to Southfield.
Southgate?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How was it out there?
Man, we got all those wanna be kids out there.
All I want to be claiming they live in Detroit, but they live in Southgate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Figure something else out there.
So I think that's why I say, you got to make certain that the people who are listening, for example, if you ask the question, hopefully, that we recorded the original version, and then they might send the final version or something like that. Something special to the same we're gonna say line. Right. And I think that's a leverage point. So then that kind of, brings that around to mental health. Yes. We're so present that don't have foundation. And it find ourselves in a state of situations that have been solved, but we're stuck. For how long they affect but that is, oh God, by definition, that's
Well, you always wonder what we listen to in the barbershop. We listen to Candace class. I like that show. Sometimes, in the barbershop, I play music. Sometimes I listen to different podcasts on YouTube. That's what I do. That's how we do it in the barbershop.
Here's what's work. You always with the child, I think you always want to say, okay, here's what's work. That's for the mental health balancing idea. You never want to tell a child, no. You got to say, you got to affirm something. Right. I think slow in the health of the spirit foundation. Myself, affirmation. Whatever word don't get enough of shit or
The fact that your hair is straight is the fact that your hair changed directions in the back why people can't cut it.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Huh?
I think it's both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah. Because when I went to the barber shop, he was like, oh, I don't know how to cut your hair. They never said how. It's like, no one talks about what type of hair I have. But he was saying, you can cut it. So,
but I can.
College, education, the world.
I ain't even trying to tell like 30 minutes to an hour away to get a haircut too.
Also affirmations about our bodies, the beauty of ourselves. We've got to look at those things and say, there's nothing wrong with my hair, there's nothing wrong with my skin, there's nothing wrong with my nose. In fact, they're beautiful. Right. And they're not beautiful to these approximately what a European looks like. Right. They're beautiful because they're mine and they're African.
Usually when I cut straight hair, I like to get the taper going good first, and then if I have to use my shears to take the line off, I use my shear to take the line off, blend it in real nice. So sometimes that's what you have to do with straight hair. You got to whip the shears out. You can't be scared to use the shears. And, you know, when you're a seasoned barber, you know, you can, you know, you got all the tricks to the trade to complete the job and to complete the task, you did?
It's hard.
You gotta stay
Why
somewhere,
or one
you
question
gotta get
is
out
why
there, you
is
know?
it so hard for us to understand that, you know, that before we were on this black people, you know, it's afros, but even like now, going back to capitalism, consumerism, materialism, it's all to negate our natural.
You upload to YouTube too?
Well,
You should record this and put it on.
it's recording on, we live on YouTube right now. Yeah, Last Global Radio, you can go to Last Global YouTube, Last Global Radio on YouTube.
Surgery, making my nose smaller.
Look, I'm telling you, and this is, when I was an undergraduate, I felt we would beat that in a decade. That we would have that behind us.
And I feel like we don't have that. Afro, black people, and then something happened where that
Something
changed.
happened where and I think that you nailed it. It was that the consumerism was part of it, but there was also something more diabolical and deeper. I think that you don't want people to embrace themselves physically, because eventually that's going to spread out. That's going to spread into other things. But not only am I, but I am this. I can do this. I can.
Oh God.
Now you got to critique. That's going to change things. That's going to shake it up.
Yeah.
And so you have to. And so we talked about before this notion of pushback. Pushback was on the body as well as on the mind.
Right.
We got people push back, and it's just more visible in terms of what's happening to our bodies. Things now that are just.
Yeah, y'all see that taper coming to life on my man right there? Just a little bit that there. Can you dig it? We live up in here. Blast Global Barbershop. For appointment, you can hit me up at 313-957-1411.
I think you cannot do it.
313-957-1411.
You've got to saturate that mind, just like we saturated you've got to saturate these young people from the time prenatally. Prenatally, you have to saturate them with the notion that everything about them is good in terms of their physical, their beings. And so from the time that child is sitting in their little playroom, all around visually and auditory, on every challenge, you got to get it. And I think that people like yourself that know something about the way the media works, right? You got to figure ways that ways that we can distribute things much easier than they could in the days of the race movies.
Right.
You know, back then when they had to have the reporters carrying them around.
I was letting us know our place.
Yeah, but I think now we can do that. But it's going to be, I think the artists are so important in this process.
That's powerful.
People in the arts, they're going to be.
I would agree 100%. So is there cultural affirmation, body affirmation, the will?
Well, the other one that I think is really important to center around is one's confidence. Because the society makes us, it makes us.
That's whether Darwin, chicks,
Yes.
that they had to have a hierarchy before you were at the bottom. But that was all psychotic.
But it's fascinating. You study Dr. Boyce a lot. Probably one of my favorite places. Right. And when it's like Harvard, and some classes from the Harvard, was there. Probably thought it was less boss. And you have to sense that. And at the same time, when he comes out, he writes that soul to black folk. And he celebrates. He celebrates all that. And that's very, very different. Sort of bounce back. Good. I almost black, but yeah. To write that at a time. and our very humanity was being questioned. You know, there stuff coming out that says, oh, you know, this is a lesser man.
Right.
And,
But then, wasn't there a time, I can, but there was like voice. Also, I think that's the thing. That's the that was someone to his people and saying that like, yo, man, I think is that's one of the now now kind of spark that thing for that you know the different scholar.
yeah, I think one of the things that you get that notion that people are attributed to any right, so the 95 is that talent notion. That race is saved by its, you know, its talent. And by the time, by the 30s, you realize that it's talented. It's one of his most, his most pushed back. And a lot of times, and I think people saw that.
So he doesn't have it all the way right through the whole process.
He's going to be, that's what we were talking about before, that notion of continued growth.
Yeah.
He's a good example of continued growth. Continues to change and grow.
Right.
And so what you read about the way he's approaching things, by the time he writes this big book called Black Reconstruction,
right,
which is a powerful piece of work. And talks in that he talks a lot about that competence side, right, that we were talking and what we produced, you know, after that Civil War kind of thing. Really gets into that. And by the time you get into that divorce, that's much different.
Yeah.
He's much more into broad-based coming out of school, you know, and you were the best in that.
Yeah.
You know, so we have to all watch it.
That's what I'm saying. We have to be careful, even as intellect, to
there you go.
not turn into our own.
That's right.
Find ourselves, whether it's in the modern day Cosby scenario or even in Congress, even in our own, you know, smaller community. Feel like because someone might read a book to or got a degree that now they speak for all of us, or that they have, you know, they have a media platform. Other things. We see this a lot in our conscious, where you know because we gathered some new information, and now we find ourselves debating and almost, you know, kind of creating this inner community war about, you know, which blackness is strong. Just understanding that it's all something that we need to affirm at every level.
That's right.
Use our intellect or to judge.
Or to judge one another. Yeah, I think that the one thing that we should get from new information is the desire to get more information.
Right.
You know, that's what we should, and not assume that now I've got it. Now here I'm ready to make my pronouncement. You know, it's an effort.
So psychology isn't that. Psychology isn't the study of like, okay, now I understand the mind. I understand.
I think that the naive psychologist would try to say we understand this process. I think that as you really look at things, you realize that it's so human behavior, human action is so complex that to pin it down to any particular space, time, and circumstance is really risky. And so it's a very humbling experience. And ask anybody who's tried to work with an individual who has an addiction, how tricky it is dealing with that kind of thing. Because there's certain things, if you don't have the right balance, and then you right back to square one.
Right.
You thought you were in your haughtiness. It's a humbling experience. But maybe that's what you're doing. Maybe Kendrick, be humble. That's the message.
Well, that's what he goes back to Buddhist philosophy.
Yes.
Wise man said, you know, he knows nothing at all. You know, the wisest man is like, I'm constantly growing. Once you can't reach that level of saying, oh, I know all. Wise man knows nothing.
There you go. I think that great wisdom.
Yeah. And I mean, it's such a simple concept.
Yes.
But then when we go back to that idea of trying to figure out the mind, it's so many developments, and just the complexity of it's the most powerful computer ever created. And we're still barely scratching the surface to understand all that puts you in that space of like metaphysical abilities that use even as our own people from building pyramids to even stepping in and out of different dimensions. So and then that's when people are like, all right, now you're talking like you're going too deep, but then at the end of the day, it's like it's right there, the forest to go.
All we doing, cause he ain't want much cut off the top, so all I'm doing is just snipping the ends and really just blending in all the way around. So all the hair can lay into each other. All the hair can lay in nice and smooth.
That's really a risky business. And you can see that you watch musicians, for example, some things that musicians do. And I was watching, my wife and I went and saw Ahmad Jamal, who was 89 this year.
Wow.
A piano player that was big in them.
Yeah.
And you watch what he does and the way that he transcends space and time, and meter and all those things.
Everything.
And tone and all this stuff. You see, now how does the human brain do that?
Right.
Because a lot of that stuff
actually there's God in that.
There's something that happens.
Yeah.
So it's risky for people to say, it can do this, it can add, subtract, or yeah. But that's like using your car now. You don't pull a trike. You don't need much more than that.
And it's I mean, like you said, we just scratching the surface, and for you to be a professor in college, obviously an author, and someone, a pillar in our community, but then at the same time,
was there a lot of bullying going on out there school where you went to?
Not towards me, but certain
Other
kids.
people, martial arts?
What is your worst?
That's a joke.
I got them Asian joke tossed around. I never picked on it. No. You train them on conversation.
Yeah, everybody always gonna have a little. Just about if you're sensitive or not.
Yeah, especially
Right, they still can't whoop you though. I know that's right.
Somebody slavery, you talk about
they all talk
destruction of our
about that.
families.
Mhm.
I think he talks about that's the core. And I think that's been the struggle to try to make our families do what they're supposed to do. In terms of being there for our children. I have grandchildren. That was issues. And I think that we've got to figure some kind of way that has to do. I always tell the men that I encounter, you've got to have that sense of responsibility of making certain that we're there. Yeah. And counted on. Right. That we can be counted on to do certain things. And and beyond that, there's just little things I think that every year I always tell my students, try to read a biography a year. Yeah. Especially because that biography can give you an entree into history. Right. You read about the times, not only that person, but the times they were living in. And that's inside there. But just be as excited by learning as anything else in your life, just by picking up some new information. The currency of learning. Oh man, there's something about that. Yeah. Oh, right now. I like that. But man, like I said, clearly just scratching the surface. Oh yeah. And I feel like we'll be sitting here discussing many things and going deeper as I take my journey in psychology. So we come on in the water is fine. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I appreciate your time. Again,
what you looking for right there?
Yeah.
Just
I usually have my hair messy as fuck.
Grazing over this introductory course to the mind and intellectual journey, but I appreciate your time.
I just want to bring everything down so you really know.
All right, Dr.
Really make you look like you've been to Barber. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the end of that. See, I can find something else to put on right quick. Let's see what we doing.
But this time we have Sister Imani Muhammad, who's going to be talking about the Black World Order program again. For those who don't know, the Black World Order program is a program me, Brother 19 Keys, Jake Taylor Jacobs, Chris Cole, and Derek Grace is all coming together to offer our courses and to offer a roadmap to give our people a step-by-step execution plan in 2021. What we've seen is that there are people who want to get into real estate, but they also want to get the wealth stack. Got people that also want to get home banking, but they also want to get private banking footprint. And instead of us having them having to choose which one they want to get, because we have clients or students that is important. So how about we come together? It's more powerful, and there's a lot of things that we're going to be doing inside of that program. If you want to learn more about it, though, go to blackworldorder.com and check out the first 2 videos that we have. It lays out exactly what we plan on offering our Black World Order members. But today we have a member that has actually seen the first class and has been a part of the second class. And we just want to learn more about her and get her feedback about the Black World Order program, because I always say, whenever there's a founder or a course creator, you can say it's the greatest course ever created. We can say whatever we want about it. But as teachers, I believe our marketing should be, what does the students think about it? It should not be what I got out of it, how much money I made, or what cars I got. It should be, how do we help our students do it, since we are the teachers. And I got that from the minister. He said, true leaders develop students to replace them. So that's why we're starting this podcast, to show you guys the benefit of the course, not just from us who's going to be promoting it, but from our students. So Sister Imani, you are now on the screen. Go ahead and tell the brothers and sisters a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yes, sir. First and foremost, I want to thank you, Brother Ben X, for the platform. Of course, giving you the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. And, you know, well, I'll start with myself. I'm from Portland, Oregon, all the way in the Northwest. I joined the Nation of Islam when I was 16, so many, many years ago. I won't tell my age. But I mention that because I think that one of the things that I have noticed why I was so attracted to not only the BWO, but just, you know, Brother 19 Keys and just strong brothers, Black men. One is from my foundation of watching, you know, a strong FOI in my city and all across the nation, but also, more importantly, unity piece that you brothers, you know, are showing, not even just talking about, just showing. And not only, you know, using this platform to bring brothers and sisters on, but as I watched all of you brothers over the last couple of years, and there's a few other folks that I would mention too, but you constantly share knowledge, but you also are constantly allowing other people to share their knowledge. And so it's a humbling spirit that all of you have demonstrated. And that's something that, as you said, in terms of leadership and teachers, you have to have those aspects of humility. And so for me, you know, born and raised, like I said, in Portland, in 2007, I launched my business called Traveling Pillar, and I launched that right after the 10th anniversary of the Million Man March. I was in DC and just seeing heaven on earth, seeing Black folks come together and just having that spirit. So when I came back from the 10th anniversary of the Million Man March, I launched my business, Traveling Pillar, and it started as an online bookstore. And at that time, there wasn't a lot of online platforms of people buying books or natural products or health products. And so I started selling books, really reselling Nation of Islam, Final Call books, Message of the Black Man, How to Use to Live. Because again, being out here in the Northwest, you know, I still get the question, are there Black people in Portland? And yes, we are still here. So at the time, started just kind of promoting knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And then I traveled to New York a couple of years, you know, in 2003, I think it was. And then I kept going to New York, and I started using shea butter and natural health products, hygiene products. So make a long story short, all of the products that I was using for myself I decided to show that, to the community. And so Traveling Pillar evolved into not only books, but shea butters, natural soaps, body oils, incense, all the things that are heavily saturated in the East Coast, but not necessarily heavily saturated out in the Northwest. And so that's really my business right now, Traveling Pillar. And then I also started a nonprofit in 2010 that's called Youth Organized United to Help. And that was actually inspired by the 2008 Saviors Day, which was a youth Saviors Day where the minister allowed the young people in the nation to spearhead our national convention. And so when I left from that Saviors Day, I was inspired to create a nonprofit in that spirit. And so over the years, we put on summits and anyway, I can go on and on, but that's kind of I'm an entrepreneur at Spirit, really based on teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so back to the Black World Order, I was one of those students that rocked the gold standard and then wanted to get the post-Trump package from Eric Graves and then wanted the digital real estate, but didn't have it, in my budget at the time. And so when I saw that you all were coming together, I was just like, praise be to Allah, because I can get it all from one platform. But more importantly, like I started with, what you all are demonstrating is something that, like you all talked about, has not been seen before, at least in our time, right? And so I think it just shows so much how humility and how putting ego aside can really take you and the rest of the people to the next level. And I think just how you have demonstrated that, how you start with 19 keys as a thought leader, kind of laying the foundation. Like I'm watching, I'm seeing it. And I'm also so thankful because, as my son said earlier, it's an example and it's attractive. And we don't even know what it's going to look like down the line other than greatness, right? And how it all is going to impact all of us as individuals, whether we're members or whether people are not members and they're just seeing those clips, all of that is playing into the psyche of all of us. And I'm just happy to be a part, to be honest.
Great. So where did that entrepreneur spirit that you talked about come from?
I would attribute it to my parents. My mother definitely was a kind of a politician in her own right in this city. She ran for city commissioner. She was always doing neighborhood cleanups in the community. And so I would say it starts with my parents. But then when I talk about the nation, when I look at, the Final Call newspaper and, Beam Pies and just having that concept of having a product. And then if you believe in it, pushing it. So whatever that product is, right? And so I think, I know, just having the root and the basis of the Nation of Islam and then seeing brothers and sisters taking a word and just, whether it was a word of teachings, whether it was the final call, whether it was a quote from Message to the Black Man, whether it was a quote from How to Eat to Live. But when you believe in something, then you have, it convicts you at night. It makes you have to go and share the word with other people. And so I think for me, coming in as a sophomore in high school, and then having my parents and a little bit of a, fire spirit, it just was a natural piece for me to, when I believe in something, share it with someone. And so I think initially it didn't start off as entrepreneur. It started off as just, hey, I learned something, let me share it. Then it turned into, okay, how do we make this into a business? How do you make this into something? And for me, the entrepreneur piece is a legacy, right? So I do all this to pass down to my son because I want him to take wherever level I leave him with and take it to the next level. I don't want him to have to repeat the mistakes that I've had to make or our ancestors have had to make. So I think, again, entrepreneur spirit starts with a belief and belief in something that you 100% believe in, and then taking it to the next level, which is that application. So applying it, and then once you start applying it, those are the pros and cons that you get understanding, and you duplicate it again, or you don't duplicate it again. But yeah, I think that's for me where it started off. I didn't start off wanting to be in business. I mean, if anything, I never had an example of what business looked like. than go get a job, get a paycheck, and pay rent. So once I started having that own kind of inner independence, and then like I said, I study a lot of what you all put out in terms of how to do it the right way. I think that's kind of the piece that I get out of it. Like I don't have to worry about getting a grind. I have the grind, I have the hustle spirit. But it's doing it in the way that is calculated and it's efficient as opposed to working harder and not smarter.
And I'm glad you said that, because that is one of the major benefits for me what I wanted to help bring to the Black World Order program, because there are a lot of people who have great hustle. There's a lot of people who have a great grind, but they're grinding and they're running in the wrong direction. So if you just redirected that energy and that focus, you could be a lot further than where we are today. And that came from where a lot of stuff that I do, a lot of tactics and strategies that I have is really trial and error. I'm trying this out, seeing how this works. I'm trying to see how they respond to this video. I'm switching up the letters. I'm switching up the colors to see what's working. So to be able to give somebody a roadmap and a blueprint to tell them, go fast as you can this way, this is what I see as something that is very valuable for BWO. I also wanted to come back off of what you said about the nation. Brother Kelvin put it in the comment section, he repeated you. Having a product, believing in it, and pushing. That is so important. That principle of having a bean pie, having a newspaper, that's a product. You gotta believe in it to push it, because you're gonna get questions at you, or you're gonna maybe get mocked or whatever, and you gotta know how to defend it. So it gotta be something that you believe in, and you gotta push it in order to get a return. You gotta push it even when somebody slams the door in your face. You have to push it even when somebody flicks you off at the stoplight. You gotta have that soul. You gotta have that belief in yourself and belief in your product to continue to push it. So when people talk about the nation, it's just bean piles and funnel calls. Number one, that's not what it just is. But number two, it's teaching a principle, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm an introvert. It doesn't seem like it on the internet, but truly I'm an introvert. I wasn't used to just introducing myself and starting conversations, but when I came in the nation, we had to, go out there with the papers, and this is what we signed up for. We're gonna go get the people. That training helped develop me to believe in whatever that I had, and it helped me deal with rejection. Because every time you produce a course, it's gonna be rejected by somebody. Every time you produce a product or a service, it's gonna be rejected by somebody. And having that experience out with the funnel call helps me now in business when I'm rejected. So I just wanted to come back off of that. That was some great points that you made about those principles in business.
And thank you. And one of the things too, I think, I believe it was 19 Keys mentioned it in one of the classes you all had. It was talking about, or he was talking about how, delegation, right? Not everyone has to be the expert. And that's one of the things that I had to learn too. And it wasn't about, I didn't want a team. Like in my mind, I would always say, of course, I want help. I want, in building a nonprofit, you have to have a board of directors. So that when you have a board of directors, hopefully they're all adding to the business. But one of the things that's important is, you don't have to be that. And I think that that's one of the other things that I appreciate about all of you all is that have your lane, right? I think you all can dip in each other's lane, possibly, depending on the subject, but at the same time, you all are staying in your lane and also saying, well, since I don't know how to do X, Y, and Z, my brother knows how to do that. And that's the other piece that we all have to understand too. Like, I don't want to be an accountant, so I don't even want to figure out how to do tax. I want to get somebody that is what they do and have them do that, or vice versa. So I think that's the other important piece about growing and scaling, right? And taking things to a different level. We can all be individuals and be at a certain level, but it's so much greater when we come together as a people and we allow people that have studied and done their expertise, like who all have done, whether it's trial and error, it's still experience, right? And so let's learn, like you said, the blueprint so that we can take it where you guys have left it and go to the next level. But again, I don't want to spend the same 7 years, 10 years that somebody else has done, because what does that do for generational wealth and generational legacy? It means that we're still 10 to 15 years behind. So that's yeah, that's the other piece too that I see that you all are doing is the delegation and allowing brothers to be in your lane and letting people do their work. And I just love that. That's the true teamwork.
And that's one of the things we want to really display all 2021. Somebody was asking me a question on Clubhouse, and I was like, I don't know. Ask Brother Chris or Brother Jay. Like, it feels so good to say, I don't know, but my brother knows. I don't know, but my sister knows, and we're all united together as we've been taught, and it allows me to just focus on my purpose. It allows me to just focus on my mission, but I'm still able to help the whole, because in unity, he can put on the spot that I don't have. And a lot of people, I think, maybe, when we're coming from a poverty mindset, we may say, well, if I team up with somebody, dang, I ain't got to split this 5 ways. I could have made all of that. Well, you're actually going to make more money because now you can service and impact more people. So that split is actually going to be more than what you can do by yourself. By yourself, you only got one lane. But when I'm united with 5 people, or I'm united with 2, however many people, they can do something that I don't. Service more people, which means you can have more money. So I've seen, in 2020 alone, how my life has completely changed after just getting with the right team. We got customer service, we got somebody for sales, we got somebody for this, we got somebody for that. It just lifts the weight that's on your body, and actually sales go up. And then now with BWO, not just being with a team in one business, but combining businesses together, I'm saying this thing go up even more. So I want us to be an example of how to truly come together and unite. It does take putting pride to the side. It does take having humility. It does take patience. But inshallah, we can be an example of how to treat this is urgent. Because I always like to make this point and spot like this. We are not just throwing our courses together. We go on to say, here we go 4 different passwords, just go get an information. So we're literally, number one, doing a people merger, meaning lawyers is going to be involved. We're going to be and we're piecing the courses together to put together a roadmap for everybody to follow. And then, God willing, we go public this year to where the community not only just gain knowledge back, but meaning that you can get some stock, and as we grow, you grow. And that's what we want to be an example of for our BWO members. So I just want to put that out there on how the unity is very important.
Sometimes, it's easy to get money.
Not for these people who brag about being self-made. They may be self-made, but they can go a lot
especially when you cut behind somebody else.
Trust me, I've been doing this on my own for a long time, for 10 years, and to finally know that I don't have to edit all of these videos. I can make a video, and tomorrow or 2 days ago, I don't have to edit it, spend hours editing. Somebody else gonna take care of that. All I gotta do is take it and post it. Man, y'all, that feels so much better, because if you only knew what I've been doing over the years, y'all will go crazy. So let's go into the first meeting. We had our first sneak peek meeting, meaning that it was the first official meeting for our members, but we allowed the public in. What's your thoughts on the first BWO class that we had?
I kind of had an expectation only because I know kind of what I get from all of y'all brothers. So the first was, I think it was really good, and it was helpful, especially for someone that was new, right? So someone that had never heard of you all. I think just the format, how you kind of laid it out. Each brother had their moment to kind of share who they were, their bio, and then a piece of the knowledge. So I appreciated the format. I appreciated.
That's right, y'all. That's how we do it at Class Club Barbershop.
Each of you as individuals, but also
it's about me showing it to him and see if he like.
We're emerging together as a team. And I keep referencing what I think is important is having the foundation and having the thought first. So again, starting with 19 keys, kind of from that spiritual, like he's gonna take it there to get your mind right. So that
all right, you ain't gonna tell me you like it, then get upstairs and be like, I appreciate you, man. Another satisfied customer, y'all. Take him out.
And I think that's one that 19 keys has, is that the brother makes sure that he kind of plants that seed to just get you receptive to a new way of thinking, a new paradigm.
There we go.
So when you get those tactical
what's up, bro?
stock market, digital real estate, when you get some of those concrete, concepts, you can hear them differently and also maybe understand them just a little bit more. So that's, I
Okay.
mean, yeah, that's what I think on
All right.
the first class, absolutely.
And the second class that we had was, what was that? The 29th? I think it was right before New Year's. What was that? That was the
My memory is based on where y'all were sick.
Yeah, so I think that was the had 3 classes. Okay, so I think the one that you're talking about is the one we did on the 29th when we was at the hotel. So the second class actually is the second class is actually the one that we did yesterday. I think it was. No, it wasn't. That was a pop-up class. The third class is actually gonna be on July 5th, January 5th. So the class that we had yesterday about the Bitcoin and the stocks, that's what I was thinking about. Were you available for that class?
No, I didn't catch that one. No,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, cool. So you was there for Christmas and you was there for the 29th. Those are the 2
Yes.
classes that you was in. All right.
Yeah.
So you wasn't there for the last class. So I would encourage you to go check out the you should already have the replay. Did you get an email?
Yeah, I got the replay.
Okay,
That was on my agenda today. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you would know the power of that class. But for those who wasn't there, Brother Chris went over 3 stock options that we should be choosing and why, and then he went over 3 cryptos as well. And he answered a lot of questions about stocks.
See it from the side, check out from the side.
It's actually new to me as well. I'm kind of picking up on the language pretty fast because I got a lot of time, so I've been Googling and bouncing ideas back off of Brother Chris and things of that nature. But it's really a cool concept because for me, I used to think it was gambling. Throw some money in and you hope that the business goes up. But when I got with this brother, he was able to show me how no, this is strategic moves that you make, and you can make money when the stock market falls. And that I didn't know. So when he told me that and started to break that down, I said, oh man, I'm sold. Come on, man. Let's go with it. So this is really some game that we need to learn in trading and stock options and all this different stuff is something that Brother Chris Cole really specializes in. He's not somebody who's just jumping on a trend. I know everybody talks about it now in the comment section, but in some of those scams, by the way. So if it ain't from us, if you give them your money, don't blame us because they are people, those are bots that be under my comments. Let me just make that plain. But Brother Chris has been doing this for a decade. Like I've been doing it for a decade. I've been doing it since 2010. Brother Chris, he's been doing this before social media. Brother 19 Keys actually convinced him to get online. Like I convinced Jake to kind of, push it online. So just wanted to give y'all that background on what you're going to be. There's going to be a variety of things that we're going to be laying out for the people. So as we close, tell the people what you do, what you plan to do, and where they can follow you on social media.
Absolutely. So 2 websites, travelingpillar.com is the kind of the online bookstore, natural products, hygiene products that you can purchase. And the website for the nonprofit is Books Not Bars, OR.com. She's a sweatshirt. I don't know if y'all can see it. But Books Not Bars, OR.com. That is the nonprofit. And in essence, we're working to dismantle the school to prison pipeline epidemic that we know is happening all over the nation, but of course in Oregon as well. Those are 2 businesses. You can find me on Instagram at IamFaithPDX. IamFaithPDX. And Facebook,
Sometimes we do.
but where I intend to go, 2021 for me is ownership. I'm looking to purchase a house this year.
And that's just the way I dress in the wintertime. So, a lot of stuff don't bother me as much. Then you would other people because I'm on to dress.
Is that something I'm trying to figure out myself?
I
I just
dress for
really
me.
want to work efficient. So again, as I mentioned, I have been
How you doing?
doing this work for many, many years, but one of the things that I would say about when you do it by yourself, you get burned out very easily. So that's the other benefit of having a team is don't get burned out, right? And so if you're a visionary or if you're a creator, you can't do everything because you'll lose your creativity. So for me, it's just working smarter this year in 2021, and I'm looking forward to getting the tips, getting the blueprint from you all, and figuring out how to work efficient, work smarter, get some investments, trade, and get wealthy, and pass it on to my son
Appreciate
and
you, Noah.
be able to share.
I'll show y'all love for Noah, man.
To talk about
That's how we do
what
it.
it's done for me.
Blast Bubble Barbershop.
Again, I believe in gotta do it before you can share it.
We
So
got it.
I don't want to keep saying,
No, we good. Yo, man, take care. Yeah.
That's why
We
we
straight. All right, no problem.
Thank you, brother, for sure, for having me on. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yes, man. Well, I thank you for joining the Brother the Next podcast.
That's how we do it, baby.
Back on with,
Till the next time, peace. We live.
but I definitely want to bring